Here we are. So welcome to the last new moon of the year. A new moon that happens in Capricorn at the degree 9.33. All right. This is, as you know by now, if you follow this and if you know a little thing about astrology, this is the beginning of a cycle. And what a beginning as we are entering 2025 plus the new moon at this moment. I think it's a very, very powerful beginning, wherever you look at it from. Okay, so as for every new beginning of cycle, it's time to seed new intentions. And if you're seeding intentions, like, of course, you're going to be seeding them for 2025. In the same way as for 2024, I was recommending to seed intentions with maybe a 6 month. Of course, you can seed intentions for a very long, for a long time ahead. But given the speed at which time seems to be going at the moment, I mean, at least for myself, I see my, let's say, longer term intentions, but keep an eye on a shorter term if it needs adjustment, if things change, etc., because so much happens in so little time. Like if you look back at 2024, I don't know how you feel about how filled it was and how quick it went, but I feel like 3 years were shoved into 6 months, and it was actually just 12 months and with so much to do. So in that same kind of perception of the speed of time and the amount of events that can be packed into one unit of time, I would recommend that you keep in mind that whatever you set your intention on or for, then to keep an eye on maybe reviewing it regularly. It's, of course, the perfect moment to start something, to start a project, to start an action, to initiate something. And this moon is very, very particular, as I already pointed at a month ago. It's a month where we have 2 new moons. We had the first one on the 1st of December, which was the new moon in Sagittarius. And if you remember, for those who were here or who did the meditation on YouTube, that was the opening of a portal, which I call the portal of creation. And on the one hand, during that 4 weeks period, we were invited to transmute and let go of beliefs, transmute traumas, transmute everything that were conflicts for us, and to let go of beliefs, any karmic charge, and things that were hindering our progression. And we had tremendous help to do that, if you remember. And on the other hand, at the same time, we had a lot of help to open our perspective on how we experience our incarnation. And if you remember, we had a lot of help to expand our view and connect from a truthful perspective, a perspective that is truthful to who we are in our essence. So that was the, let's say, the setup at which or where this portal opened from. And today we are closing it in order to get into a different stage. And what this new moon provides as it closes that portal of 4 weeks is what I think is a stepping stone to create this new life, this new experience based on the transformation that has been happening for months, probably years, but at least for months, but was culminating in the past 4 weeks. And I want to make a note here. Many times I have mentioned the idea of changing skins, of shedding the old, of letting go of limiting beliefs. And we've worked a lot on that over the past almost 2 years that I've been guiding these meditations. But this time, the work is to be done from another point. The work this time is about shining our authentic self. The skins, the trauma, the drama, the beliefs, we shed a lot of that, and we've done a lot of work on that perspective. So now what we have to do is make the most of the better access that we have to our authentic self, because all the work that we've done, that's what it allowed us to do. It's to open up the way, or make it easier for us to access our authentic self, our essence, you can call that, for example. And the work is to lead that essence, to lead it through, to shine outwards. So what that means is that now we have, let's say, I want to say updated responsibility to listen in order to create what is in total resonance with our heart, which is where our essence resides. And that affects every aspect of our being. It's the way we relate to others, the way from which we act. In fact, it means it's the intention that we put behind every thought, every action, every reaction, down to every breath. You know, it's really what we're being asked to do. And this is the actual result of all the efforts we've been doing so far. That's where they're leading to. So that we can imagine like something that focuses and concentrates in order to expand again from a new perspective. I hope you get the image. It's funny because I have Johan behind. I have Johan as the person that I see, and when I said that, there was some lightning just behind you. Right? It's lightning, right? It's a storm. Yeah. Is it a storm that you have? That's so funny. Punctuation by the elements. Thank you, elements. Okay, so that's the let's say the framework for this new moon, and also the framework for what's coming next, because this is the realm that we're entering. So, as I said, this new moon is happening at 9 degrees 44 of Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's the third and spiritual aspect of the earth element in the zodiac. The archetype of Capricorn is related to relentless work. It's usually solitary work, striving for perfection and mastery. These are the key words. Perfection, mastery, work, you know, are the key kind of vibration of this sign. Its key quality, it has one quality, it's constancy, perseverance. So it's a sign that keeps going tirelessly towards its goal, and constantly making things better and better and better and better. It's kind of the unstoppable walker of the zodiac that is striving for mastery. Mastery is actually an attribute or a quality of the Capricorn. So what it teaches us to be better, to look for the next step of evolution and of growth. There's a strong notion of elevation and ascension with the Capricorn at all levels. It can be at the subtle level, but also at the material level, really very practical, mundane, down-to-earth 3D things. And this is exactly why this new moon is perfect for what we have to do now, is to step up into the next realm or paradigm of who we are. It's almost our new dimension, or the new dimension in which we want to exist, or the new plane in which we want to incarnate or be. The mantra of Capricorn is I use, in the sense of I use everything that I can find to go towards my goal and make things better every time a little bit more. And Capricorn is also the one who teaches us to convert into matter all the work that we've done all along the zodiac. So Capricorn, you know, the zodiac starts at Aries, where the first spark of the divine appears, and it goes along a way. And when it reaches Capricorn, it's where everything that has been gathered so far starts to materialize. And in Sagittarius, we were given the purpose, the arrow that is truthful to who we are. And in Capricorn, we bring it into matter, we manifest it. So it's really speaking about our essence that is was activated, let's say, or brought to the fore in Sagittarius, that is being manifested through the tools of the 3D. And what are they? Vibration, energy, matter. This is how we create on this plane. And in that sense, it's one of the most powerful archetypes of manifestation in the zodiac. So keep that in mind, because we're getting an incredible push with this new moon to create the vision that we were asked to build in Sagittarius. Another key aspect of Capricorn is its connection to time. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, the master of time. And that says two things. Time is the one that allows us to bring into existence what we have within. You know, a fruit needs time to appear from the seed. It grows through the seasons, and then it becomes a fruit. So in the same way that nature has cycles, we too are subject to time. And I know that there's often that notion that we are prisoners of time, but it's a question of perspective. Time is what allows us to develop things. It's like we can use time. And if we and Capricorn's mantra, remember, is I use. So it uses time to bring something from point A to B, to bring an idea into matter, to create wealth, to create things into the matter. And for that, we need time, at least in the configuration in which we are incarnated and from which we are speaking today. The second connection with time is karma. Saturn is the master of karma. And that means accountability for our actions. And that plays in two ways. Over the past weeks, months, and few years, there has been a lot of karma that has been liberated. Some of you might have felt it really very clearly. Some of you maybe not so much, but it has been happening. Pluto in Capricorn helped in that. Saturn being in Pisces helps with that. And even the last new moon, remember we were speaking about the liberation of karma. So this is something that has been, you know, going on. So we are being the weight of karma, of our past actions in other dimensions, lives, whatever you want to call it, has been lifted up from us. But also, the flip side is that this is also here to make us aware of our actions so that we don't repeat. So that means that our actions need to be made from a conscious standpoint. What creates the weight of karma is the unconsciousness with which we do things. And what leaves our karmic, let's say, account clearer is to do things from a consciousness perspective. And the more we are connected to our essence, the more we approach the consciousness, let's say, realm. Does that make sense? This is a very, very important thing because I know if you are here, if we are in this circle, you are aware of what I'm talking about, and you are aware of the importance of being conscious in our acts. But this time, it's almost like going one step further, because our responsibility now is to create from the heart. I don't know if you see the subtle difference compared to before. It's not just being conscious of what we do, but to make sure this is coming from a very deep and truthful point. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. We are an emanation of the divine that is here to express that essence. And wherever we're not aligned with that essence, there is tension. And it's that tension that creates dissonance and consciousness and karma. I hope it's clearer said that way. So yeah, and to reinforce that, I want to talk to you about the Sabian symbol associated with this new moon. Each degree of the zodiac is associated with a concept or an idea called the Sabian symbol that was channeled by Elsie Wheeler in the 20s. And for today's moon, the Sabian symbol is, and it's usually in the form of a sentence. So I'm going to read to you the sentence. It's an albatross feeding from the hand of a sailor. So what does that mean? You know, an albatross, it's a bird. It's those very large-winged birds that, glide very gracefully by the sea. And what it speaks about is that the level of peace, of harmony that you have to have in your heart to attract animals, wild animals, that's what we're talking about. It's to reach that level of unity. So for you to be able to attract a bird to eat from your hand, like you need to have reached a level of peace and harmony that is quite remarkable. Also, for the sailors, in ancient tradition, albatross is a sign of good luck. So for me, this says a lot. It's when we connect to our essence and let it radiate, then we get the luck. The kingdom of heaven opens to us. So, as you can see, and it's my perception over what we've been working with over the past few months, it's almost like we're getting to the end of a funnel where we've been working on connecting to ourselves, to our essence, shedding things, etc., doing a lot of inner work and going through a lot of ups and downs and being shaken. But now we're getting to the point where this is going to become a fruit. Now it's going to materialize. And we do have a lot of help from the skies, but we also do have a lot of responsibility for this to materialize in that way. Okay, so how do we use that moon in detail? And what else does it have to tell us? First of all, we have Saturn that is connecting in sextile to the new moon. Saturn is in Pisces. And this is reinforcing the idea of the dissolution of old structures while building new ones from a perspective of oneness and unconditional love, from a perspective of unity consciousness. That's Pisces. It's also giving us strength and will and stamina to act on the dream. Pisces is the dream as well. The dream we activated a month ago and that we worked on during the last month. Saturn is also connecting with Jupiter and Mercury in a T-square. So Mercury and Jupiter are opposite each other in what we call a mutual reception, which means they are in each other's signs, so they are supporting each other's symbolism. And both are in tension with Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, which is the main character for this moon. And for me, this speaks about the roadmap for how we will bring our dream to life. I want to go back to a few days ago when on Christmas Day, we had Jupiter exactly square Saturn on Christmas Day. And that was, let's say, pointing us to balance the dream, Jupiter, with the measure of making it happen, Saturn. But this goes beyond that. At the Capricorn solstice in 2020, Jupiter and Saturn were together in the sky, forming a very powerful conjunction called the Star of Bethlehem, which is the same star that was supposedly visible in the sky at the birth of Jesus. Regardless of whether you believe in Christianity or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is those two stars signal the birth of light within. This is the meaning of it. You can believe in the story of Christianity, and that's your choice or whatever. I mean, I'd have nothing to do to say about that. But what I'm interested in is the symbolism. So those two planets being square now, they have a reverberation with, or a resonance with that moment. So a resonance with the birth of light within ourselves. You following me? So what this T-square is talking about, that is still active, that was exact in Christmas Day and still active now, it's really speaking, it's almost like a checkpoint. How are you doing with that light that is coming out from you, and how are you balancing things out between what you're creating and how you're honoring your inner light? And whenever it's not aligned, Saturn is also known as a very unforgiving an unforgiving planet, in the sense of it's the planet of structure. So whenever there's no structure, it will bring you back into the line. So there's that element of, constantly balancing the act between the dream and materializing it. And Mercury is mind, so it's a lot of thinking and organizing and creating the roadmap to achieve that. Mars is in opposition to Pluto. It was at the last new moon, and it was exact on November, and it will be exact again on January and again in April. So that's a lot of fire that is happening. It can be very, let's say, it can be expressed in a lot of aggressiveness, and an explosive kind of fire. So two things. Remember that this energy is around, so make sure that whenever you get next to aggressiveness or explosiveness, to kind of just step back, either whenever you're receiving it or whenever you're feeling it's rising and going to overwhelm you. Just step back and just take a deep breath and don't engage in that. The second thing is you can use that. because it's energizing a lot of the sky at the moment, and we'll get into another aspect that is really interesting. So you can use it as an engine to push towards materializing what you want to create. It's a lot of power concentrated. Mars is really about initiation, about creating things. It's the energy to go forward, and Pluto is the energy of transformation, and it's also very fiery in its energy. And Mars is also energizing Neptune, that is connecting to the North Node. The North Node is our collective destiny. It's actually going to change axis in the 11th of January, I think. It's going to move, the North Node is going to move into Pisces, and the South Node obviously is going to move equally into Virgo. So it is going to go into the sign of unconditional love and unity and all of this, but we'll get to it when we get there. What I want to say, it's reinforcing the idea that we are heading towards a destiny that is anchored in unconditionality. So this is where we're heading to anyway. So it's kind of adding another pool to act from that unconditionality within. So it's reinforcing the message that it is the time to trust that voice within that is guiding us towards the unity of all of us. That's where we're headed anyway. And I know that you here understand that perfectly. So this is this new moon. And we are at a point of creation, really, with a big C. And also, it's the second time that we have a new moon at 9 degrees of its sign, and there will be more in the next few months. And when you look at the symbolism in tarot, for example, this is the card number 9. Can you see it? Yeah. It's the Hermit. And it symbolizes a moment of crisis, but also of wisdom. It's looking back, and this refers to what I was saying earlier. It's looking back and shedding light on its past. So that's everything that we've been doing. Letting go of beliefs, working on ourselves, on our shadows, all of that. And it's almost like moving backwards, turning its back to the future, but it's kind of saying goodbye to and illuminating and enlightening its past. And the next card is the Wheel of Fortune, which starts a new cycle. So for me, I find it very meaningful that these moons are happening at this degree repeatedly. It happened to us, I think, a few months ago when we had, I think, moons at the 11th degree, I think. And it's happening once again in a very meaningful way, where it's reminding us that we are in a moment of transition. And like in all moments of transition, there are moments of crisis. So yes, there are some very hard moments where we feel it's too hard, or it's crumbling, or whatever emotion we feel at that moment. But this is what happens when you shed light on things. Then you see the ugliness wherever there's ugliness, and you see what needs to be transformed. That's by definition how it works. So yeah, that's the gist of this moon. All right, let's see. Let's see what the Oracle of Agartha has to tell us today. Also, I just noticed for those who follow the Yosoi path, so today is the day of the ankles in the Yosoi path, which is the last day of Sagittarius. Okay, today is the ankles of the physical aspect of Sagittarius, which is the day before last of Sagittarius. And then tomorrow is the Taurid. And on the 1st of January, we start with Capricorn, which I think is really cool because we're going to get to eat the energy of Capricorn for 30 days. So in order to understand the archetype, to learn how to use all its qualities, to learn about its positive and negative aspects, and to, understand it left, right, and center is amazing. I think it's a great way to start the year. And I mean, it's just magical that it falls on this day, on this new moon, with this energy at this moment. I think it's genius. But we know that the universe is genius anyway, so that's how it works. Okay, there you go. Oh, beautiful. This is the card that we have today. It's called the Ancient Incas, and I love this because it's so related to Capricorn. You have no idea. Before I start reading the meaning of this, I'm going to tell you why I find it so related to Capricorn. What you see is a diamond. And diamond is another, not representation of Capricorn, but Capricorn is great with pressure. And diamonds are created under pressure. That's how they get created. You put carbon under a lot of pressure and you get a diamond. This is a great summary of Capricorn. And let's see what the ancient Incas, because this is a symbol from ancient Incas called the light. That's the name of this card, the light. Okay. Let me read that to you. Some of us have been invited to explore more evolved civilizations on other spheres, and we have been taught about matter, another domain of mastery of Capricorn. Matter, in the way you know it, vibrates at the level, matter, the way you know it, vibrates at the furthermost level of permanent light. If you put your preoccupations only at the material level, you will get away from the light and you will fall into a darkness that will bring you a lot of suffering, illnesses, and bad things. We would like to remind you of the importance to connect to your true self beyond the identity that it is wearing today. You are a great spirit that is living an experience that is partially material, but you must be in a position to take a higher perspective to come back to the spiritual planes, because those are the ones that carve the forms of the future. The key is do not remain attached to the material preoccupations. The light acts from the spiritual planes. Nourish them by elevating your thoughts and your feelings. This is such a wonderful message. I really love it. I suggest that we take maybe a minute to allow that to sink in before we move to the meditation, if you're okay with that. Thank you. Let me put the music on. And you can start finding a comfortable position. Can you hear it well? Okay. Yes, thank you, Elena Marie. Thank you. All right. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And take a moment to focus on your breath. And bring back your attention within. I find myself at the threshold of the portal that we opened 4 weeks ago at the new moon of Sagittarius. To my left, I have the pillar of transmutation, of transformation with Antares. To my right, I have the pillar of creation, the Eye of God, Aldebaran. And I stand between the two of them. And I feel the benevolent energies of those pillars, transmuting my challenges into wisdom and allowing me to open my eyes on the sacred flame within. And at the center of my chest, in my heart, I feel a golden light shining delicately. With my breath, I connect to that light and gently start to expand it throughout my entire body. As I inhale, the light concentrates and shines brighter. And with the exhale, its light and warmth expands into my body, reaching out further and further with each breath. And slowly, a halo starts forming around me at the surface of my skin. And I start glowing a soft golden light, warm and loving. And now I take a step into the horizon before me. And as I take my first pace, as I step forward, I feel the earth under my foot, supporting firmly my step. And I start walking towards the horizon. Above my head, the stars keep shining brightly. And I feel their light pouring through my crown. And I understand that I am taking the path of the gods, the path that unites heaven and earth. And I walk, reaching for the horizon in front of me, where I place all my intentions and goals. And as I walk, I sing. As I realize that my thoughts take shape as I sing. And I sing accompanying my steps, singing my own music to the beat of my steps. And with my vibration, I understand that that's how I create. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I pause and look around. And I start seeing many points, luminescent points around me. And I understand that I am one of those points. And many others around me are walking the path of gods too, each with their own song. And together, we are lighting up the entire horizon. And wherever I look, I see a golden glow expand towards the sky. And I join with my song, the symphony around me. And as I sing, I listen to the beat of all the steps and to the songs echoing back to me and amplifying my own song. And I join. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I put my hands on my heart. I am the one who walks the path of the gods as I sing my reality into being. Each step takes me to a new level of existence, towards eternity. I am, I see, I use. take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I seal this information into my being by caressing my entire body, massaging it gently, very softly. Bringing that awareness to all my cells. When I'm ready, I can open my eyes. And come back here and now. Thank you once again for being here and for creating with me that beautiful space. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful new year, beautiful new cycle, and a joyful, expanded creation of reality altogether. Thank you.